Welcome back to 10 Things You Didn't Know About Yesterday. Today, we're peeling back the shiny wrapper of one of the world's biggest food and beverage companies, Nestlé. With a market presence in almost every corner of the globe, Nestlé produces everything from chocolates and bottled water to baby formula and coffee. But behind the success, there's a darker story, one that includes exploitation, unethical practices, and controversies that have left many questioning the company's ethics. Get ready because today we're diving into 10 dark secrets of Nestlé. Secrets that Nestlé would probably prefer you didn't know. 10. Water privatization and the water is not a human right controversy. Let's start with one of the most infamous controversies involving Nestlé, its stance on water privatization. In a shocking statement, Peter Brabeck-Letmathe, Nestlé's former CEO, claimed that water is not a human right, sparking global outrage. Nestlé has been accused of privatizing natural water sources, bottling them, and selling the water for profit while leaving local communities with little to no access to clean drinking water. In places like Pakistan, South Africa, and California, Nestlé has been criticized for extracting vast amounts of groundwater for their bottled water operations, often during droughts. For example, in California, during one of the worst droughts in state history, Nestlé continued to bottle water while residents faced severe restrictions. This practice has drawn widespread condemnation, with critics arguing that Nestlé prioritizes profits over people's basic needs. Water, after all, is a fundamental human right, or at least it should be. 9. Exploitation of child labor. Next on our list is Nestlé's troubling connection to child labor. For years, Nestlé has sourced cocoa from countries like Ivory Coast and Ghana, where child labor remains a serious problem. Investigations revealed that children as young as 10 years old work on cocoa farms, often in dangerous conditions and for little to no pay. In 2015, Nestlé admitted that it couldn't guarantee its supply chain was free of child labor. While the company has pledged to address the issue, many critics argue that not enough has been done. In 2021, Nestlé was even named in a lawsuit alongside other major chocolate producers, accused of aiding and abetting child slavery on cocoa farms. Many believe that Nestlé, as a global giant, has the resources to clean up its supply chain, but instead turns a blind eye to exploitation for the sake of profits. 8. The baby formula scandal. One of Nestlé's darkest chapters dates back to the 1970s, and it's something that continues to haunt the company today. Nestlé aggressively marketed its baby formula as a better alternative to breastfeeding in developing countries. Mothers, many of whom were living in poverty, were convinced to switch from breast milk to formula. The problem? Nestlé didn't educate these mothers on the proper preparation of formula, and in areas with poor access to clean water, mixing the formula often led to contamination. The result was devastating. Thousands of infants died from malnutrition and waterborne diseases. This scandal sparked a global boycott of Nestlé products, and to this day, Nestlé continues to face criticism for its marketing practices around infant formula in vulnerable communities. Critics argue that the company prioritizes profit over public health and education. 7. Palm oil and deforestation. Nestlé's use of palm oil has had catastrophic effects on the environment. Palm oil production has been linked to massive deforestation, habitat destruction, and even the extinction of endangered species like orangutans. In 2010, Greenpeace exposed Nestlé's role in sourcing palm oil from companies responsible for clearing rainforests in Indonesia. The viral campaign, which included disturbing images of displaced wildlife, forced Nestlé to pledge that it would clean up its palm oil supply chain. However, investigations in later years found that Nestlé was still sourcing palm oil from unsustainable plantations, raising concerns about the company's promises versus its actions. Critics argue that Nestlé's demand for cheap ingredients comes at an enormous environmental cost. 6. Plastic pollution. Plastic pollution is one of the most pressing environmental issues of our time, and Nestlé plays a significant role in it. As one of the largest producers of bottled water, Nestlé generates millions of tons of plastic waste each year. A 2020 audit by Break Free from Plastic ranked Nestlé as the third largest plastic polluter in the world, following Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. Nestlé's single-use plastics often end up in landfills, oceans, and waterways, harming marine life and ecosystems. While Nestlé has made commitments to reduce plastic waste and increase recycling, environmental activists argue that the company's efforts fall short. They claim Nestlé needs to take accountability for the sheer scale of the problem it has helped create. 5. Tax avoidance. Nestlé has also faced accusations of tax avoidance. By exploiting legal loopholes, Nestlé has been accused of shifting profits to countries with lower tax rates, minimizing its contributions to governments where it operates. In countries like Australia and France, Nestlé's complex financial strategies have drawn criticism for depriving public services, such as healthcare and education, of much-needed tax revenue. Critics argue that as one of the world's wealthiest companies, Nestlé should pay its fair share of taxes instead of prioritizing profit at the expense of society. 4. Questionable bottled water sourcing. Beyond water privatization, Nestlé has also been accused of exploiting water sources without sufficient transparency. Communities in places like Pakistan and Canada have accused Nestlé of depleting local aquifers while providing little benefit to residents. For instance, in Pakistan's Bati Dilwan village, Nestlé extracted groundwater to produce bottled water, while local residents faced shortages. Similarly, in Canada, protests erupted when Nestlé continued extracting water despite growing concerns about sustainability. This ongoing pattern raises questions about Nestlé's ethics when it comes to water, a resource that is already under immense pressure globally. 3. Animal testing. Animal welfare groups have criticized Nestlé for conducting animal testing to support claims about its products. Investigations revealed that Nestlé's subsidiaries conducted tests on animals, subjecting them to questionable conditions in laboratories. While the company claims such tests were necessary to meet regulatory standards, activists argue that alternative methods could and should be used. Animal testing is a dark aspect of product development that consumers rarely hear about. 2. Misleading advertising. Over the years, Nestlé has faced backlash for misleading advertisements. From claims about the nutritional value of products to the safety of baby formula, Nestlé has been accused of deceiving consumers to boost sales. For example, Nestlé has marketed sugary cereals and drinks as healthy options for children, despite their high sugar content contributing to childhood obesity and diabetes. 1. Child slavery in the cocoa industry. Finally, perhaps the darkest secret of all, Nestlé's connection to child slavery in the cocoa industry. Reports have revealed that children are trafficked to work on cocoa farms in West Africa under grueling conditions. Despite Nestlé's promises to address this issue, evidence suggests that the problem persists. Critics argue that Nestlé's profit-driven model enables this exploitation, leaving thousands of children trapped in modern slavery. And there you have it, 10 dark secrets of Nestlé. From child labor and environmental destruction to misleading marketing, these stories reveal a troubling side of one of the world's largest corporations. What do you think about Nestlé's practices? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to 10 Things You Didn't Know About Yesterday for more eye-opening content. See you in the next video.